The explosion happened at exactly 3:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. I swear the entire neighborhood of Serenity Creek heard it. Through my living room window, I watched Amelia Hayes, the self-appointed queen of our HOA, stumble backward off my porch. Her perfectly pressed pantsuit was suddenly covered in what looked like a disco ball had vomited all over her. Neon pink glitter cascaded from her hair like a waterfall of pure karma, and the shriek that came out of her mouth could have shattered wine glasses 3 blocks away. But I should probably start from the beginning. My name is Mark Davidson, and I moved to Serenity Creek Estates about 18 months ago. It seemed like the perfect suburban neighborhood, with its manicured lawns and friendly waves from neighbors walking their golden retrievers. What I didn't know was that the HOA president, Amelia Hayes, ran this place like her personal kingdom, and I was about to become her favorite target. Amelia was the kind of woman who measured grass height with an actual ruler and sent violation notices if your mailbox was 1 degree off perpendicular. At 53 years old, she treated her volunteer position on the HOA board like she was running the Pentagon, complete with color-coded violation forms and a laminated badge she wore to every community event. Her heels clicked on the pavement like a countdown to someone's misery. The package stealing started small. At first I thought maybe the delivery drivers were just being careless, a missing book here, a lost phone case there. But then bigger items started disappearing. The $70 Bluetooth speaker I ordered for my home office vanished. The specialty coffee maker I'd saved up for never made it past my porch. I mentioned it casually to my next-door neighbor, a friendly retiree named George. He looked around nervously, before leaning over the fence and speaking in a low voice. He told me that Amelia had been confiscating packages she deemed were left on porches for too long. Apparently, she had invented a rule that any visible package was an eyesore that could lower property values. The following week, I installed a doorbell camera. I positioned it perfectly to capture my entire porch and front walkway. Then, I ordered something small and inexpensive at $10 phone charging cable and waited. Sure enough, at 2:15 p.m. the next day, while I was supposedly at work but actually watching from my home office window, Amelia Hayes walked right up to my porch with her oversized designer tote bag. She didn't even try to be subtle. She looked left, then right, like a cartoon villain, before snatching my package and dropping it into her bag. Then she had the audacity to pull out her phone and take a photo of my supposedly package-free porch, probably for her twisted HOA records. The whole thing was captured in crystal-clear high-definition video. I confronted her at the next HOA meeting held in the community center that smelled perpetually of lemon cleaning products and disappointment. I calmly stated that packages had been disappearing. Amelia's face turned a shade of red that matched her power blazer perfectly. She launched into a rehearsed speech about an obscure HOA regulation regarding porch appearances and how she was simply enforcing the rules for the betterment of the community. When I suggested that taking someone else's property might be considered theft, she actually laughed, a condescending little giggle that made the room uncomfortable. She said with a sickeningly sweet tone that if I had concerns, perhaps I should invest in a proper package lockbox that met HOA aesthetic guidelines, for which she just happened to have a catalog. That night, I did my research. Federal law is crystal clear about mail theft. Stealing packages delivered by any carrier is a felony that can result in up to 5 years in federal prison and fines, up to $250,000. But I knew one video wasn't enough. I needed to catch her red-handed in a way that would be absolutely undeniable, and I needed to expose her to the entire neighborhood. I started ordering more cheap items, and my camera captured Amelia taking every single one. Sometimes, she even brought her teenage daughter along to help carry multiple boxes. I compiled every video into a folder on my computer labeled evidence. Then, Amelia escalated things. She started burying me in bogus violation notices. My car was apparently parked 2 inches too far from the curb. My garbage cans were visible for 30 minutes longer than allowed. She even claimed my brown doormat was not an approved color. The fines started adding up. She was trying to bully me out of the neighborhood, and she wasn't being subtle about it. At one point, she stood in my driveway and told me that perhaps Serenity Creek wasn't the right fit for someone who couldn't follow simple community guidelines. That's when I decided Amelia Hayes needed to learn a lesson she would never, ever forget. I spent an entire weekend engineering the perfect trap. It was a masterpiece of petty revenge. I used a spring-loaded mechanism from a party supply store, 2 pounds of the finest, most obnoxiously vibrant biodegradable neon pink glitter money could buy, and a sound module that would emit a 120 decibel alarm when triggered. Nothing dangerous or harmful, just something that would create an enormous, humiliating mess. I placed the trap inside a box that looked exactly like it contained a high-end electronic device, complete with fake shipping labels. The morning I set the trap, I made a big show of leaving for work, but instead of going to the office, I parked around the corner and walked back through the hiking trail that ran behind our neighborhood. I positioned myself in my backyard with a clear view of the front porch, my phone ready to record. Amelia took the bait faster than a hungry fish. Less than 20 minutes after I left, she was marching up my walkway with her signature tote bag and that smug expression she always wore when she thought she was getting away with something. She grabbed the package, shook it next to her ear like a child on Christmas morning, and made it exactly 3 steps off my porch before her greed got the better of her. Right there, in my front yard in broad daylight, she started tearing it open. The moment she broke the seal, the trap activated perfectly. The spring launched 2 pounds of glitter directly into her face and hair, while the alarm shrieked like an angry air raid siren. The cloud of pink sparkles was so thick that for a moment she completely disappeared inside it. When she emerged, she looked like she had been bedazzled by a vengeful craft store. Glitter clung to every surface of her body, turning her navy blue pantsuit into a rejected disco outfit. Neighbors started pouring out of their houses. My neighbor George actually started laughing so hard he had to sit down on his porch steps. At least 5 people started recording on their phones. The alarm finally stopped, but Amelia's screaming did not. She threatened to sue me for assault, emotional distress, and about 15 other things that made no legal sense. I calmly walked out my front door, pretending to be surprised, and asked with mock concern if she was okay and what she was doing with my package. She tried to storm off, but the glitter trail she left behind looked like a unicorn had bled all over the sidewalk. Within an hour, the video was on the community Facebook page with the caption, "HOA president caught red-handed." In pink. The comments section exploded with stories from other neighbors who had also experienced missing packages but had been too intimidated to speak up. It turned out Amelia had been running this package theft scheme for nearly 2 years. I compiled all my security footage, including the glitter bomb incident, and submitted it to the local police. The officer who took my report had to excuse himself from the room because he started laughing when he watched the glitter bomb video. The investigation revealed that Amelia had stolen over 300 packages with a combined value exceeding $15,000. Some of the items were found in her garage during the execution of a search warrant, still in their original packaging, like a twisted trophy collection. The district attorney pressed charges for mail theft. Her lawyer's argument that HOA regulations gave her the authority to remove unsightly items crumbled when it was pointed out that no such regulation actually existed. She had made up the rule to justify her theft habit. While the criminal case was proceeding, the HOA board held a special vote to remove Amelia from her position. The vote was 37-1, with the only vote in her favor being her own. The local news picked up the story after someone sent them the glitter bomb video. They ran a segment called Glitter Bomb Justice, playing the video of the explosion in slow motion at least 3 times. Amelia eventually pleaded guilty to felony mail theft charges. She was sentenced to 3 years of probation, 500 hours of community service sorting mail at the local post office, in a moment of poetic justice, and was ordered to pay full restitution of $15,000 to her victims, plus a $10,000 fine to the federal government. When the judge read the sentence, she gasped, $25,000, loud enough for the entire courtroom to hear. Her reign of terror was over, ending not with a whimper, but with a fabulous, sparkly bang.